Hi, I just finished reading Kathleen Hanna's memoir, Rebel Girl. Masterpiece. At first I thought it would be all about Kathleen Hanna and her trauma, but actually she kept that to a minimum. Instead, she focused more on the foundations of her fierce feminism, the formation of Bikini Kill, how it turned into the Riot Grrl movement, and also her doomed friendship with the late Kurt Cobain. Welcome to The Radioactive Patient, a music, art, and mental health mashup. This video is part one of a two-part series on Kathleen Hanna and Riot Grrl, and our focus is Kathleen Hanna's friendship with the late Kurt Cobain. You will not believe some of these stories. So Kurt Cobain and Kathleen met when Kurt moved from his hometown of Aberdeen, Washington, down to the Olympia area. Kurt identified as a feminist in that he believed in gender equality and was vocal in his opposition to homophobia, sexism, racism, and sexual violence. Part of that was because at that time, punk rock was dominated by mostly young white males, and Kurt hated that. He would later use his platform as the lead singer of Nirvana to advocate for marginalized communities everywhere. The two hung out at Kurt's apartment and wrote lyrics together. In fact, it was actually Kathleen Hanna who came up with the "Smells Like Teen Spirit" idea. There was this one time that Kathleen, who'd gone to college, gave Kurt Cobain a copy of a book that she had that she thought reminded her so much of Kurt Cobain that he would totally appreciate it. But what happened was, after she gave him the book, he started avoiding her like the plague. And when she called him on it, he goes, "Look, I don't need you to buy me books. I'm not fucking stupid. I can buy my own books." And in that instant, Kathleen realized that what she thought had been generosity actually was quite condescending. And she also realized what a genius Kurt was. And she never gave him any more books after that. You will not believe this one. When they were hanging out one day, Kathleen and Kurt came upon what they thought was a reproductive health clinic, like a Planned Parenthood type of thing. And when they went inside, they found out that it was one of those faith-based pro-life places that shows women gory pictures of fetuses and try to make them feel guilty for exercising their free will. So since they were so pissed, they went out and they found some neon spray paint and plastered the building with "Fake abortion clinic," and Kurt wrote in 10-foot tall letters, "God is gay." I actually love both those lines. Another little known fact is that Kurt Cobain dated Kathleen Hanna's Bikini Kill bandmate, Toby Vale. And at one point he asked Toby if she wanted to be in Nirvana. And she said no, because, a lot like Kathleen Hanna, she wanted to stay indie and she believed in the work that Bikini Kill was doing. Of course, now we can look back on that and realize that if Toby Vale had chosen to play in Nirvana, she would be a very wealthy woman today. I wonder if she regrets that decision. In 1991, Bikini Kill opened for Nirvana at the famed Paramount Theater in Seattle. When they saw Kurt at the venue, Toby and Kathleen knew something was up. He didn't look right. He was lurking around in a corner, almost hiding. They knew that it was heroin. And after the show, the two women spoke about it, and they both felt terrible. But Toby told Kathleen, "Look, addicts only get better when they ask for help. And besides, heroin is bigger than the two of us put together." The two of them decided that they would just let Kurt's addiction take its course, which it did. It killed him. It's hard to know. It's hard to know exactly what happened to Kurt Cobain. Hannah's theory is that the commercialization of Nirvana took a real toll on Kurt's psyche, because when big corporations get involved with artists, the artists become products on a shelf to be sold. When Kurt Cobain died, Kathleen went nuts because she saw posters of him everywhere because the record label was cashing in on the tragedy of Kurt's suicide. She took her grief and made art with it. She published a zine called April Fool's Day because Kurt Cobain had died in April. And in Rebel Girl, the book, she publishes a page from the zine, and it reads, "I want us to be the heroes that don't die at the end of the movie." Slightly abstract, but you get the point, right? Okay, so in part 2 of this series on Kathleen Hanna and Rebel Grrl, I'm going to go deep into her feminism and explain why Kathleen Hanna didn't think that being a stripper was at odds with gender liberation. I think you'll find some of the stories rather shocking. If you enjoyed this video, or even if you really hated it, it would be great if you made a comment or gave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or subscribe. I know it's annoying to hear people asking for these things, but believe it or not, those little things, they make a big difference in the video because then it reaches more people. Look, if I'm inaccurate, I want to know. I'm in this to learn as much about mental health and music as I can. I'm no expert. I'm Allison Strong. Until the next time we see each other, ciao.